Hello everyone, Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Mobile Home University here. So video for today is different parks, different type of community of parks. When you think about mobile homes, there are very different in size, year, models. When you find these throughout the parks, you're going to find that you just have a mixture of, unless it's a park that has taken because you're starting to see this as well. A lot of parks that are getting rid of all the older inventory and just trying to bring all those new units. I know here where we're located in Georgia, we have a couple parks not too far from here where they're basically just getting rid of anything 80s, 90s. They are gone. It is everything is 2000 and above. They just want to, I guess, renew the park, just bring it up, and that's part of the way they're fixing it. So, but the one thing that I wanted to make this video is, you do have the mixture of different types of mobile homes. Again, year, make, models, whatever, sizes, all you have all that above. But you also have to be able to see what kind of park that they are. Can you invest in certain parks? Will certain exit strategies be allowed in those parks? Those are huge, because if you're getting ready to invest in some of these parks and you don't know what type of community, the limitations, what I call it, like, let me make an example, 55 and above. You can invest in a 55 and above, but many times they may have a lot of rule regulations that they're going to want you to abide, even as an investor. We have a home in Venice Beach, Florida. Now, there is a 55 and above, but they work with us in a lot of ways that a lot of parks will not. Being 55-1, right away asking you, are you 55? And of course, their immediate response is, well, no, I am not. And I'm not, but I'm not trying to live in the park. I simply want to invest in the property, rehab it, and turn it into a rental or rent to own. At the time, that's what we're doing. And it kind of went back and forth a little, they ended up agreeing, saying, okay, as long as we can confirm that you're not going to live in the park, you have it done within X amount of time, etc. They had some rules, that sort of thing. So we agreed to all of the above. We signed some paperwork and we were able to do it. Now, if you wanted to do a second one, third one, whatever, in the same property, which we did not, this was a trial we were doing most at the time. It would have gotten easier for us at that time, because you prove yourself. That's one thing, is once you do one deal, one investment, it just gets easier from there. So, but we also try to do it in a couple of the parks, also in Florida, and they will not allow it. If you were not 55, it did not matter if you were an investor, if you wanted to live in it, you had to be 55. And also keep this in mind, a lot of these 55s, even though they say retirement, you have to be 55. If you call in, check in, they will allow many times somebody who's 50, even somebody who's 45, not to just invest in it, but live there. So don't think that they have to be 55, even though they say they're just tossing that out there. Now, one thing that you can do if you are trying to invest in a 55 and above community, because you should be, especially if they're around you, if you're in the area. I'm not going to say go to the next city, next state to invest, because all they allow is 55. Try to explore your options, see if they'll allow it, and try to look for, again, options. So one thing that you can do if you're 30 years old like myself, you can partner with somebody who's 55, maybe 45, 50, whatever they allow. All you have to do is run one background, if that's what you're trying to push for anyway, on somebody that's at least the age that they allow, and then you're able to come in with them as a partner, maybe somebody that signs off. Just different ways to get around. If you want more specifics on that, I can definitely make a video. I should have made a video just on 55 and above. But some of the parks, you have family parks, and this one, the all age family parks, that is the most ideal, desirable for any and every investor, because they're so much easier. You have no limitations. Now, when I keep saying limitations, I'm meaning, like, again, the 55 and above. Okay, if the only people who can rent from you, buy from you, has to be 55, that's a limitation. You will still have a customer, but anything that you start putting a little limitation to, in the end, can cause an issue, can cause a delay to you. Keep that in mind. I want to start out with no limitations as possible. There's other issues, other problems you may incur that you may have to deal with. I don't want to add to. So think about it that way. But again, 55 is not out. You just have to explore your options. But family parks, all age, you have the easiest to find tenants. Again, all ages. You have, and it's a mixture of, you have younger people, older people, old people, whatever. Greater turnover and management intensity, higher expenses due to damage and carelessness, more tolerate on price increase because of salary increases. All age parks, they are a true community to me. You have different type people living there. You have different ages. You have families. You have kids. You have it's just a mixture of. Those are the parks that are more desirable. for any investor, because it makes it easy when it's time to screen a tenant, when it's time to, there's no limitations there. The only thing that's obviously going to keep somebody from being able to move in is obviously a poor criminal record, or a lot of times if their credit is so shot that, and it's not so much the credit score that will lower that as much as it is the collections. That's something we see, and we always ask, what do you think your credit score is at this time? Do you have any collections, that sort of thing? Of course, most people tell us, no, my credit score is around 580, whatever. Well, we can probably work with that, but we get doing a background, we see, and it's collection after collection of, if the park will not approve somebody like this, then, regardless of what you think about it, because you may be trying to work with them, but if the park says no, that's it. There's no really way around that. And in a way, I think that, that's a good thing. It is unfortunate, but at the same time, many times you may get a story that may want to get you to want to work with them. But in the end, if they have 15, 16 collections, you're probably the next one. So just think about it that way. Okay. Over 55 retirement communities, more difficult to find tenants. Obviously, there are no children in the park, only allowed, of course, from time to time, maybe weekends, get-togethers, that sort of thing. But this is 55 and above. It's retirement communities. These are elderly people who like to live quiet. They don't want some teenager in their Honda Civic booming down the road, being highway, loud, that sort of thing. They have a very low turnover, easy to manage. Many of the residents live part of the year. So a lot of these, what I see more, and this is in Florida to me, it depends where you're at. I'm in the Southeast, so of course, same for California and other states, but 55 and above, they are very quiet communities, very respectful. People there come to stay. And you think about it that way too, is, somebody older is not likely to keep moving around every year versus somebody younger in their mid-20s or so. They may live in their apartment for a year, move on to another apartment for another year, move, that sort of thing. It's easy to move around. But when you get older, as you start getting older, think about it this way, and this could be a good investment. I have a couple investors who, they're not ageist, but they will only do rentals to elderly people. And they say is the same thing, is they're a lot more responsible. They're a lot more quiet. I don't have to worry about all this crazy parties on the weekends. And, they're quiet. They keep to themselves. They take care of the home, for each his own. So the communities like that, that's typically what they are. And that's what I was saying about no kids. It's usually on the weekends or get-togethers, you'll see kids that come and visit, grandma, grandpa, whatever, that sort of thing. But aside from that, there's no all year round or all month long the kids can be there. Limitations to that. Lower expenses due to damage and carelessness. People in these communities, like I said, they care quite a bit. I visited a mobile home park like this in Central Florida, closer towards Tampa. And even walking around with the manager, they didn't like it. That I guess I was, they didn't know what I was trying to do, because that's one thing with a lot of these elderly communities. Many times too, a lot of people have been living there for 20 years plus. These are 70 people kind of thing, and a lot of times when they get a new owner, things change, rules change. They don't like that. So, but I remember them just kind of looking at me not too pleasantly. They didn't care for me there. So. All right, and then you have, of course, the RV parks, campers. That's more we see. Nothing like what's behind me there. Those are all mobile homes. But this would be the most difficult to find tenants unless location is superior, greater turnover, large seasonal variations, and high management. When you think of an RV camper site, most are not full year round anyway. There's actually a law on that. And of course, every city, county, state is different. Yes. But for the most part, what I've seen is that a camper or an RV cannot be in one pad for X amount of time. Then they have to move. And the way they got creative in this specific park that I know of is they would allow the resident to stay in one pad for 3 months. That's what the city would allow on that one. 3 months. And then after the 3 months, they would move it to the next one. And then the next one. And it was just like a little rotation going on, so that the camper could stay, or the RV. But so those are very limited. And I mean, when you think of campers and RVs, yes, you can treat them like mobile homes, but also a lot of times the pad in itself, because of what they provide. See, whereas a mobile home park pad may have just the land and of course a sewer, sometimes the water trash is included. For RV and campers, they're considered almost more of a luxury per se. So you would have the difference of, I mean, even in my area here, a pad for a mobile home to be on, $350, $400 a month, maybe. Same area where I'm at for a camper site RV, you're looking at $650. So, when you start thinking of investment in the census, what exit strategy can you do here that's still going to be beneficial? I don't see it. It's just not there, not in this area anyway. If you can market so much more and start collecting maybe 1,000, whatever, then the spread may check out. But aside from that, I would say stick to family parks and all age parks. Those are the best, the easiest to get in and out. Management will work with you a lot more, and odds are there's probably already investors there. So, hope this video helps. Keep thinking on parks. Thinking on mobile homes. There's a lot more to it than just a mobile home. You got to find out where. And of course, remember that you're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear yeses, but that's okay. Follow up is key. Be professional and keep going. All right. If you're looking for coaching, be sure to visit Garcia Mobile Home University, short GarciaMHU.com. Email me directly, top right corner at j@GarciaMHU.com. Till next time. Thank you for watching.